and I'm aware, when I was making that statement, I was mindful of what the law provides. The law says you can stand about 20 meters. From the table where our basin is, the law is very clear. From the table, that is the polling booth, our booth, the plan and context. Our booth is the basin. So you can stand 20 meters away. But if you look at some of these locations, the polling station is on the veranda of the shop.
The Electoral Commission Chairperson, BYABAKAMA, has come out to buttress his earlier decision of disallowing the people from guarding their votes. He first came out to say that people after voting they should go back to their home. He spoke out of ignorance, he spoke out of the constitution. And a few days back when other political parties had some engagement, they reminded him about the constitution. The constitution allows every person after voting to be 20 meters away from the polling station as they wait for the results. But it is so surprising that even the stakeholders, after telling him what the constitution says, is coming out to bring his common sense. If they wanted to bring their common sense, they would have cited the constitution or make an amendment. The constitution allows people to stay around the polling station until the votes are counted. In fact, I want to play a tape when BYABAKAMA was buttressing his earlier decision of telling the people that after voting they should go back home. In fact, listen to this tape very carefully because it's going to form a basis for a discussion. Here's the tape.
At 13 polling stations in the same location. Now, I just want you to imagine this. If you have a polling station or center, the polling center, with 13 polling, each polling station will be 600 voters. 600 voters times 13, simple arithmetic gives you 7,800 voters. If you tell 7,800 voters to keep around, I don't know whether you need to be a space scientist to see, to imagine what may evolve out of this kind of gathering. 7,000 voters in one locality from morning up to the time of counting. Can anyone say, can anyone predict what may or may not happen in that kind of environment or circumstance? And secondly, even given that limited space, where would they be reasonably and comfortably kept? Because the law says, and I'm aware, when I was making that statement, I was mindful of what the law provides. The law says you can stand about 20 meters. From the table where our basin is, the law is very clear. From the table, that is the polling booth, our booth, the plan and context. Our booth is the basin. So you can stand 20 meters away. But if you look at some of these locations, the polling station is on the veranda of the shop.
So that is BYABAKAMA justifying that the people should not stay around the polling station despite the constitution speaking so. But also remember that BYABAKAMA, the head of the Electoral Commission, was a serving judge, was a lawyer. If I see a person who knows the law defending something out of the constitution, sometimes I feel like crying. Because if the constitution says that people can stay around 20 meters away from the polling booth after voting, then who are you to come out and say it is not practical, what if very many people stay? You are just legislating in anticipation. What if they keep peace? So you are anticipating that they are going to cause chaos. And for me, it is a risk for disaster. BYABAKAMA is coming off as being partisan. The statements he makes, some of them they look to be rehearsed with the security operative. Okay? It rarely comes out to castigate the NRM that continues to break a law in procession and etc. Yet others are seen being killed, being knocked by different people. So you clearly see that there is something wrong. by our electoral body. And for me, sometimes I go like, part of the reason as to why the electoral rules were repealed in Uganda in 2007, they almost led into a civil war. People lost their lives. And these people are building such to happen in the country. Uganda has a history of having a civil war because of the poor management of the elections. And BYABAKAMA should put that in at the back of his mind that anything can happen to Uganda. Okay? Instead of making statements which make you look like partisan. For example, there is a day he came out to say that if one of your politicians tells you to gather a vote, if I wouldn't have come. Those statements of threatening people, intimidating people should end because we are in a democracy which we signed for. BYABAKAMA should understand that Uganda has had a history which is not good because of the elections. Okay? For as long as something is stated within the law that a person should stay around, then who are you to come out and say that nobody should stay around? In fact, the elections are now being given to the UPDF and the Uganda police to control, yet the Electoral Commission is a body that's supposed to control the elections. It is so unfortunate for BYABAKAMA, the incompetent BYABAKAMA, to continue taking over our elections. Of course, this man remain yours truly, Mr. Makindi, Kawiye Sulaiman Mawagali. The next MP for Makindi is constituency. I'll see you on another one. Peace.